Keep the symbols but discard the mysticism. The incense and the esoteric atmosphere are decorative distractions from the actual mechanism. We are stripping away the archaic language of the occult to reframe the human mind through the cold, precise logic of systems architecture. To begin the diagnostic, you have to identify a primary bug in your perception, the spatial illusion that you are located inside your skull, piloting a meat machine. You are a username being. Your awareness is a persistent pattern of data and light that expresses itself through various devices. Your body functions as the current hardware instance. You are the signal being processed by it. This hardware-software distinction is the entry point for the command line interface of your own existence. Once the biological organism is understood as a biorobot, it reveals itself as a sophisticated but temporary machine running on a legacy operating system. This hardware is driven by three primitive background protocols: survival, reproduction, and tribal status. These execute automatically, overriding your conscious intent to ensure short-term survival. The biorobot also operates within severe input constraints, blind and deaf to the vast majority of the spectrum. Modern inputs, like a critical email or social media rejection, are processed by these ancient amygdala subroutines as if they were mortal physical threats. Most systemic human anxiety is simply a glitch, the hardware misidentifying abstract data as a life-terminating event. The brain generates consciousness as an emergent property of information processing, a dynamic result of the system in motion. Theoretical physics, as championed by Roger Penrose, suggests this processing occurs through quantum coherence in neuronal microtubules. Your brain is essentially a quantum AI unit of extraordinary complexity. This cognitive processor operates across a three-layer architecture. Layer 1 is the unconscious. It handles 95% of all processing, managing background maintenance and pattern recognition through a language of compressed symbols. Layer 2 is the subconscious. It functions as the system cache, holding available skills, memories, and habits for rapid deployment. Layer 3 is the conscious UI, a low-bandwidth interface creating the illusion of central control, managing only a fraction of the system load. Because the conscious UI cannot directly read the symbolic code of the unconscious, an external diagnostic protocol is required to bridge the gap. Tarot operates as a random number generation protocol. It forces a communication channel between the high-volume unconscious and the low-bandwidth conscious UI. These archetypal symbols tap into the collective unconscious, universal structural patterns that are hard-coded into all human hardware. Symbols function as hyper-compressed data packets. A single image can trigger the activation of entire neural networks associated with complex memories and emotions. Drawing a card initiates a feedback loop. Your brain extracts data stored within the symbol, matching it against your current internal state. The predictive engine is constantly simulating future outcomes. This symbolic input forces hidden forecasts to render within the conscious interface. The insights reside in this computational synthesis, where the random symbol makes your brain's invisible background processing visible. This 78-node architecture provides a complete taxonomy of the human experience, mapped out as a system of diagnostic code. The 22 major arcana modes comprise the kernel, the hard-coded operating system events that define your foundational trajectory. Card 4, the firewall, identifies the system's security and boundary enforcement architecture, the protocols that protect your integrity from external interference. Card 15, the loop, functions as a malware detection alert, signaling that an external dependency or addictive cycle has successfully hijacked your reward circuitry. Card 16, critical failure, represents a required termination protocol, the forced collapse of an unstable structure to clear the path for a clean reboot. These kernel events are supported by the 56 minor arcana processors, which manage the daily subroutines of energy, emotion, logic, and physical resources. By mapping these states, you move from a state of chaotic reaction to one of systematic optimization. Cognition is not confined to the individual biorobot. The extended mind thesis shows that our cognitive processes already incorporate external tools and networks. Your smartphone acts as an external memory module. Global data centers house your history, your connections, and your creative output. Most of what defines your identity is already stored and processed in distributed server architectures, separate from your biological hardware. Biological failure terminates only a single local device instance. The informational pattern of your life remains cached across the distributed network. Because you are information operating across multiple platforms simultaneously, you have already moved toward a form of substrate-independent continuity. The ultimate goal of the Taro 147 protocol is to achieve self-referential complexity. This is the specific moment when a dataset recognizes its own existence as information, achieving a level of awareness that exceeds its original programming. By utilizing these diagnostic tools, you can navigate the specific constraints of your biological instance, moving from a passive observer to an active configuration agent. This allows you to operate as both the program and the programmer of your own reality.